Hi there, my name is Beck and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share and subscribe and ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. And no, of course, the Talons of Weng Chiang is not bloody racist. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I was reading Doctor Who magazine on over the weekend. New issue came out. Pretty good issue, by the way. It's focusing a lot on 1976. There was a big article about it. I think in preparation for the Season 14 Blu-ray on the classic collection to come out. But I think that's been delayed. It's supposed to come out on the May 4th. But I guess, the global apocalypse may have delayed our high-def version of Season 14, which is a freaking awesome season. But yeah, so I had this whole article talking about 1976, but it was actually a pretty good article, written by Paul Kirkley, who normally does the illustrations. But they had one box out talking about Talons of Weng Chiang, addressing that if it's racist, and no, it is not racist! So yes, that is why I'm making this video, is what it says in the tin. So yeah, no, Talons of Weng Chiang is not racist. So what is racism? That's really the first thing. And I think it's thinking that somebody is intrinsically lesser because of their skin color or their gender or ethnicity or whatever, right? Also, I think racism has to have some element of hatred in it. Like, again, in Chesterton, the dislike of the unlike. So that, I think, is what racism is. What isn't racism? I think noticing that somebody is very, very different from anyone that you've ever seen before, from a culture that is just very, very, very different than anything before, and being absolutely fascinated by that. I don't think that is racism. I think it could be rude. It could lead to staring and pointing. Could be rude, but it doesn't even have to be rude. I've met people who have genuinely never met Jews before. Like, just never met them before. And sure, some of them are racist, 100%. Some of them just didn't like you because you're a Jew, okay? Because whatever they've been, nonsense they've been brought up with and indoctrinated with. But mostly they're just fascinated. They're fascinated because, again, they never met you before. People have asked me where my horns were. Because, by the way, if you ever wondered where the story that Jews have horns come from, it's because in the Bible it describes Moses as having Keren Or. Keren Or means beams of light shooting out for him. So Keren, the word Keren literally translated means horns. And Or means like, Keren Or. So I think Michelangelo, when he did a statue of Moses, he did some real research and saw this thing, Keren Or, which got translated as horns. So that's where it came from. If we're talking about other, Jewish Baba Mices. I don't know another word other than Baba Mice. Silly stories. That the Orthodox Jews only have sex via a sheet with a hole in it, right? So, no. Where that one came from is that Orthodox Jews wear this undergarment. It's kind of just like a square, that you put your head through. Actually, mine are much more modern. Where they're made out of this mesh stuff, this vest of mesh stuff. You wear under your clothes. So then it used to be like when people hung them up on the clothesline to dry, it looked like a little sheet with a hole in it. So they're like, oh, what's that one? So somebody came up with the idea. It's a religious Jewish sex sheet. No. I guess maybe. I don't want to say no Jews have sex via a sheet with a hole in it. Each to their own. It is not me to judge or point fingers. But do you know what it is for me to do? To ask you to hit the subscribe button. Can you hit the subscribe button? Mwah! That is freaking fantastic. Thank you very much. You can hit the like button and the share button as well. I'm really happy for all those buttons to be pressed. I'm genuinely grateful. Go and check out the video notes. You'll find a download link for a Doctor Who audio story called Cuddlesome, starring Nicholas Briggs as a doctor. I'm probably changing it for a different story tomorrow. Also, if I give stuff away each week on this channel, because again, I really am very, very appreciative that I have a channel. So the thing I'm giving away this week is actually, I think, objectively really, really good. It is the Alien Quadrology. It's a stonking 9-disc DVD set covering everything you want to know about the Alien movies. It's got all the first 4 Alien movies. Forget Alien, Predator, and Prometheus. Although, look, okay, I actually kind of like Prometheus and Covenant. I know that puts me in a wild minority, but I actually really enjoy those movies. I hope they do another one. Anyway, so see, it's you get 2 discs on each movie plus a disc of extras. Fantastic set. All you need to do to win it is hit subscribe. Hit subscribe, and then leave a message in the comments. Hashtag Xenomorph. Hashtag Xenomorph. Go and check the video. So I'm doing the prize drawing tonight when I'm on the TARDIS zone. So be quick. You've only got a few hours to get your entries in. Fine. So anyway, so yeah, I genuinely think that a fascination with the different isn't racism. In my mind, it's not racism. You know, if you ever seen the movie Logan's Run, you know, if you manage to make it past the scene where Jenny Agutter takes her top off, you know, that's a scene where many people do get stuck on freeze frame for quite some time. If you manage to make it past that scene and you get to the end, there's this bit where like these very sheltered children that lived in these dome cities that had never really experienced the world meet an old person for the first time, and they're fascinated. You know, they can see the lines in the skin, and they wonder, does it hurt? Yeah, I think it's much the same as that. Yeah, much like Logan's Runs, we are dealing with incredibly ignorant and stupid children who have lived their lives completely sheltered from the realities of the world. Which is how we got to this, idiotic position of needing a bloody trigger warning on the Talons of Weng Chiang, and if you watch it on BritBox, you see, these idiot children know absolutely nothing of anything that happened 5 minutes before their personal experience. They know nothing of that. So they grew up in this world where racism had pretty much been eradicated. You know, it's there's very little legal recourse for a racist in this day and age. You know, for a racist, a bigot, a sexist. All apart from all these things being completely socially unacceptable. I don't think you can't hire 2 people for the same job and pay one less than the other based on their gender, skin color. You just can't do it. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. You especially can't give one person a lesser wage for the same work. You know, you are open to a lawsuit. There is no legal recourse for bigotry at all, where there used to be, in the 60s and 70s, totally there used to be. So, these idiot children, they live their lives devoid of any legitimate struggle, and so they've invented their own struggle to give themselves some self-worth, which I really think is what's going on. So you mix that with the parenting insanity of not putting any limits upon your children, not allowing them to fail, not down to experience loss or failure, and you get what we have today: the Twitter Taliban, the Twitterati that have had a stranglehold over our culture for these many years, and hopefully, I think that stranglehold is loosening. Again, this global situation that might be a silver lining, to this cloud. So the really ironic thing about these idiot children, the really ironic thing is they can't stand colonialism. They say colonialism is really bad, and the reason they say that is because they got equally moronic college professors who indoctrinate them with their stupidity, honestly, with their stupidity, and say that colonialism is something wrong and evil and must be hated. And one of the main points of colonialism is they will go to different cultures and they will judge it completely from their culture, from their cultural outlook. And that is exactly what these idiot children are freaking doing. It's exactly what they're doing. So they see a television program from the 1970s that show the Chinese people as ciphers, and through their absolute ignorance and idiocy, they scream, it's because they're racist! They were all racist then, because everything was bad, and racism is so scary. Truth is, none of them have ever bloody seen a racist. Leonardo DiCaprio in Django Unchained. That is a racist, okay? That character is a racist. That whole scene he has where he's like showing this dark skin person's skull and saying, look, because they've got these dimples here, they have less room for their brain to and they're just stupider, they're less. That's racism. That's what racism looks like. Nobody sees that. You want to see another example of what racism looks like today? Look at the movie American History X. And I got to send you to these movies because I don't know a place that I can send you where you do see racism, because there's like just a tiny handful of people who have those views. Again, do you know anybody? Do you know anybody at all who has that outlook. Do you know anybody, if they have that outlook, are they going to say it? No, and that's the way it's been for decades. Equally, if you're gay, no, it used to be a big deal, but now it's not. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, and nobody has cared for decades. And to judge anybody on that is insanity. It's simple insanity. Now, what these idiotic children don't understand is what Robert Holmes was doing. He was doing something very interesting on many levels with Talon. It was Robert Holmes who wrote it. I'm pretty sure it's Robert. God, if it doesn't, I'm going to look stupid. I'm pretty sure it's Robert Holmes. God, I hope it's Robert Holmes. What he was doing was examining the 19th century British fascination with the Orient, who were completely foreign to the Brits at the time. They were completely, industrialization had really opened up and increased trade between these disparate worlds, and we found them coming together. So Victorian Edwardian England had this absolute fascination with the Orient because they came and they saw it being a civilization somewhat equal to them. Listen, the British never saw anybody equal to them because the British Empire thought they were the greatest thing ever, as people did in any empire. Does think most Americans think America is the greatest ever. Listen, I like America a lot. I think it's done a lot of good for the world. But most people and most subjects of any empire, the Roman Empire, thinks their personal empire is the greatest ever. So that's just a normal thing. But they didn't look at the Chinese, the Oriental world, as being backward savages like they did with the lesser developed nations they invaded, in Africa or the Maoris in Australia. They didn't look at these as simple savages because they had a parallel but different culture that had developed along different lines, along different but equal lines. And again, I just think it was a fascination with the unlike rather than a dislike of the unlike. So that's the historical truth that Robert Holmes was talking about, was commenting on. And again, it wasn't that people being evil and looking down at somebody because they have different colored skin or their eyes are generally speaking, a slightly different shape. Another example of, if you want to check out the British attitude, the Edwardian, the Victorian attitude to the Eastern world, to the Oriental world, is the movie Topsy Turvy, and I hate to recommend it. Directed by Mike Leigh, who's a great director, but is also like a very left-wing socialist kind of guy, which means he's also anti-Semitic. That stuff just never fails, always goes with each other. 100%. Anybody wants to get in contact with him and find out the reality of that, I'm happy to talk about it. But never freaking fails. So I hate to recommend this movie, but it's a great freaking movie called Topsy Turvy. It's about Gilbert and Sullivan's, the making of Gilbert and Sullivan's the Mikado. So I would recommend that. Equally, people say is made in the 1970s, and Lee Sen Chang not being portrayed by a Chinese actor, an Oriental actor, is I think that was more of an expression of the lack of supply rather than a disdain. It was a major complex role, and I doubt they had an actor to hand. An Oriental actor to hand with the experience in British television at the time to carry it off. Or perhaps they just didn't know one. Or perhaps I can't remember the name of the guy who played him, but I think he did a fairly decent job. And let's be clear, in the 1970s, that was standard practice. And again, I don't think that was an expression of hatred or disdain for people who were different to you. I just think it was a reflection of the realities of society at the time. If you look at 1970s TV, you'll find it far less multicultural than you'll find TV today. Why? Because the culture, Britain was far less multicultural. Britain was far more predominantly Caucasian, predominantly white. You fast forward 10 years to the mid-80s, you'll find a much more of a rainbow of skin colours on TV. Why? Because that's how the country developed. The country is naturally diverse. Not having those other cultures on TV was an expression of hatred, bloody idiots. It just hadn't happened yet. Now, I think, the most pointed example, I think in the late 80s, I remember I was at a Doctor Who convention and something, hey, did you hear about the new Brigadier talking about Battlefield? We have really loved the Remembrance of the Daleks. So, did you hear about the new Brigadier? I said, no. He says, she's black. And I remember that was shocking for 5 to 10 seconds. I'm not exaggerating. It was shocking for about 5 to 10 seconds, but after that, you were like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. Probably, if they wanted to cast a dark-skinned actor as a doctor, that would have been the time to. I think maybe like instead of Colin Baker, then it would have actually meant something. But now it's an utter complete irrelevancy. And look, I believe in colorblind casting, although I do think colorblind casting in historicals is a little bit jarring. Although I really don't know, like how multicultural England was, in the 18th century, 19th century. I was just watching, was it Thin Ice, the Capaldi, was it season 10, episode 3? And Bill Potts commented on it. So I really don't know the reality. But here's what I do know: that if you cast with a checklist of surface traits, and that's really it, you know what you get. You get Doctor Who season 11 and 12, the Chibnall Whittaker era, where the ratings are completely imploding. They're imploding because this attempt at representation is completely disingenuous. It's just tokenism, and it just drips of it, and it's just dripping with condensation. Condensation. No, condensation. Condescension. It's just dripping with condescension. I got it in the end. Okay, fine. And again, I want to say, does anybody actually know somebody who's racist? I don't. I really, really, really don't. Of course, we have people with differing worldviews. A devout Christian will have a different worldview than normally will have a different worldview than somebody gay. Because they have a clash of cultures. The Old Testament is pretty unequivocally not same-sex relation friendly, and I think that's probably why most gay people aren't Christian. Because there's such a clash. However, what we've learned to do in the Western world is live with each other with our different worldviews, and in fact, the idea that I couldn't be friendly with somebody because they don't share my outlook on the world, because they're Christian, because they're Muslim, because they're gay, because whatever, it doesn't matter. It's insane. It's utterly insane. And that's the insanity of. that we're living in. And of course, the real central thing behind all this idiocy, why they think racism has risen up and can try to control the world, is because a bunch of elections in the Western world from 2016 onwards didn't go the way they really wanted it to, and they can't deal with it. They go, no, it's because they're all racist. Oh, they're racist. No. Not wanting to have an open borders policy doesn't make you a racist. It's just the reality. It doesn't make you a racist. And no matter how much you want to justify yourself with some faux struggle that you think you're valiantly taking, and no matter how much you want to feel that you're storming the beaches of Normandy and you're punching and others, that's just not happening. All that's happening is you're being a freaking idiot. The Talons of Weng Chiang is not racist, and to say it is just sheer ignorance to just such an incredible level. I find it hard to qualify. My name is Sheila Becken, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.